2020 has been a shitstorm. None of us really expected what we're going through right now. No one really expected what we're going through right now. What I'm saying is not new. I'm sure you've seen a lot of posts, a lot of videos talking about this. But even though I had this whole set of videos planned out on why we tend to undersell ourselves and all these motivational picking yourself up videos, I decided to put all that aside and do a video about 2021 and our expectations. I've been seeing a lot of posts that say that can't wait for 2020 to finish. Let's put up the tree and wrap this shitstorm of a year up. And there's a thing called holiday blues that most of us have heard of. And I feel like this time it's going to hit us a bit more. And I believe that we shouldn't do 2021 resolutions. If you are the person that does New Year resolutions, I had on my 2020 list, I had to travel more and to meet new people. Far from reality of what was going on. And I decided to start a YouTube channel in April because I started working from home in March. So it's been 9 months. I'm not good at math. 9.5, 10 months that I've been working from home. And it's been hard. It's been really hard. And I want to talk about how 2020 should be the shitty draft of your book, of your life. Someone said this, that perfectionism kills creativity. And if you don't do what you preach, then you're a hypocrite. Now, a lot of my videos have been on emotional abuse and how you are emotionally abused by your parents, your boss, your friends, your relationships. But looking back on this year and how a lot of us have reflected on our life, ourselves, I think the biggest emotional abusers out there are us. And we emotionally abuse ourselves constantly. Most of us, the majority of us. This video is going to be all over the place, by the way, because I don't want to edit it, because you don't edit your life. And 2020, if we did have the chance, if we did have the ability to edit 2020, I think most of us would. But I want to talk about how we've all lost something this year, whether it was someone that we love due to the virus, whether it's because some other ailment, maybe it was our job, maybe it was our sanity. But no matter what it is, we lost something. We lost the idea that we can't control everything. Most of us were forced to live in our house for long periods of time. And we got into this mode that we need to compare what we have, and we have to be grateful of what we have. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. Of course, we have to be grateful the fact that we're healthy, or that we're living in a warm house, that we have a roof over our head in general, we have food to eat. But we also put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep this positivity. Ironically, the first video I did on YouTube was the lockdown meltdown. I had just started working from home, and it was tough. It was tough because I didn't really have a team. I wasn't really talking to a lot of people during the day. So opening a YouTube channel was kind of like therapy for me, and I wanted to help people out there. And suddenly YouTube became all about perfectionism and giving you guys the best of the best. Putting on makeup, which I decided not to, being in a correctly lighted room. And I realized that that's not what 2020 is about. 2020 is about acknowledging everything we've lost. When that timer strikes 12:01, nothing's going to change. 2020 is basically just going to be December 32nd, 2020. The virus will not have gone away. But most importantly, the after effects, the stigma of the virus that it has on our brain will definitely not go away. So even though there's all these vaccines coming out and there's all these theories, our brain will not recover that soon. And most of us don't emotionally abuse our brain, especially this year, that we need to be grateful. And by the way, my first video started from me sitting in a bed. This is why I decided to do this video from a bed, but also because I'm exhausted. And I am sure most of you are. Our brain has been on constant alert. Constant. We are in panic mode. And I realize that not only because I've been having nightmares and because I'm constantly exhausted, but even when you take a break and let's say you binge watch Netflix or some other movie, let me know in the comments below if this is something that's happened to you. So I've been binge watching How to Get Away with Murder. And there's this scene where the judge approaches the podium to speak to the lawyer approaches the podium to speak to the judge, and they're really close because they don't want anyone to hear about it. And my brain automatically thought, why are they so close? They're not doing social distancing. And I've had this gone on in some other video and some other movies too, where people will hug other people, and I'll be like, wow, why are they doing that? I mean, social distancing, they can't. So even when your brain is trying to relax, it's getting bombarded by this unprecedented thing that no one has gone through. And in the most cold setting, which is like a court of law, where like no emotion should be shown, even then my brain brought out this alert, this rule that why are they getting so close? And I don't think a lot of us have grasped the gravity of the severity of what we're going through. In the entire human history, this hasn't happened again. And we've been through pandemics, but even though the internet is a huge source of inspiration, help, it's also a source of fear. Right now, without the internet, I wouldn't be able to be talking to you guys. I wouldn't be able to be saying these things. But it's also it's a double-edged sword. We hear the bad and the good in a situation. And because we don't see this virus, we don't know anything about it. We only just hear about the news. We're in a waiting game. So let's say a previous pandemic, the influenza, 1920 something. I haven't looked at the facts right now, but there you saw people in front of you. You were in the house, but you weren't working from your house. This is what I mean when I say this is something that we've never gone through before. This is something this is history right now. Some people say that it's not so bad because it's not like we're at war. We are not in physical danger in the sense when we're in our house. So it's not like we're waiting for a bomb to go off or we're not in the battlefield. But it's also something that is equally hard because we're in a waiting game. We just sit in a house and we wait. We wait for the next rule to come out. We wait to see if the restrictions are getting more loose, or if we're going to have to stay longer in the house, or if are we going to be able to see other people, how our vacation will be. And I really wanted to put this video out right before 2021 to emphasize that even if it's okay to go in with a positive mindset, but don't go in with a faulty mindset. Don't put up these huge expectations that just because 2020 is finished, everything will change, if this is going to be a new year and all that. Because you need to be able to address the wounds, the stigma that this virus has left on your brain. I mentioned the influenza pandemic. In the influenza pandemic, people did stay in their homes. Some people couldn't stay in their homes. They had to go out, they had to work, they had to find a way to bring food. But for the first time in human history, we are asked to simulate a normality, something that is normal, in times that it's not. So we are asked to pretend that we are at work when we are in our house. Now that's a very effed up thing for our mind. Some people have virtual meetings, so you see the person, but they're not actually there. Some people even have some of their equipment from work, so it's like even though you see the stuff that you were at work with, you're in a room that it was meant for you to relax. Your house is a safe haven. Your house is somewhere you go when the world is too much. But now the world is forcing you to go into your house. So it's the exact opposite. And like I said, I'm exhausted, and I've been trying to, and I want to help you guys, and I want to thank you so much for your support, everyone who has watched my videos, that have subscribed to my channel. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Olympia. I like to dissect that mind of yours to see what makes you tick, but also what makes you talk. But I think that sometimes talking is the hardest part. We think that we need to shut up and be appreciative of what we have. But that's also denial. And like I said in my first video, I talked about the lockdown meltdown, and I haven't really had a meltdown. I've been trying to do something to help others. So I guess, like I said, this video is not going to be edited, so it's kind of all over the place. I guess my point is that don't expect something different from 2021. Be grateful, but at the same time acknowledge that you've lost a lot, that you're probably going to lose also a lot during 2021, but also embrace the fact that your brain has changed right now. Your brain has been forced to change. You are living something that no other generation, no other time has gone through. You have so much knowledge at your hand, but you can't do anything with it. You're waiting for someone else to tell you whether you can hug a loved one, whether you can go outside, how many people you can meet with. You realize that you don't have control. You are looking at something that is invisible. You don't know if that person carries the virus. You don't even know what the virus looks like. They say now that some people can carry the virus without having symptoms. I want you to take a moment and realize how terrifying that is for your brain. And it's okay to be anxious. It's okay to cry. It's normal to feel numb. Your brain right now is in shock, and it's been in shock for a long time. You have moments of clarity, but you also have moments where you just don't want to get out of bed. You just want to pull the covers up. You don't want to deal with people around you. You don't want to feel like you are selfish or unappreciated because you're not appreciating everything that you have while others don't. But everyone's battle, everyone's loss is their own loss. You don't have to compare it. If you have a job, you shouldn't feel like you should suppress yourself and your emotions because someone else doesn't. If you are healthy, you shouldn't have to suppress your emotions or whatever you're feeling because someone else is not. It's okay to just deal with your own battle. Your brain is going through so much right now. And having this idea that 2021 is going to change everything and that it's the end of a year, it doesn't mean anything. Like I said, 2021 is just going to be the shitty 2020 is going to be the shitty first draft of your book, of your life. And you're going to have to rewrite it. You're going to have to rewrite the rules because the rules have been rewritten for you, basically. But 2021 is going to be the 32nd of December of 2020. So, in my opinion, just skip New Year resolutions. Just skip what you want to do, what you wish to do, because most of our resolutions for 2020 didn't come true. Why? Because a lot of our resolutions were not in control and in our control. So I wanted to travel. I was lucky enough to go to a few places. I stayed in afterwards because of the rules, which is fine. But like I said, it was not in my control to travel the way I wanted to. At the same time, now my brain automatically is thinking, well, Olympia, shut up. At least you got to go someplace. But I've also been stuck in a room for long periods of time. And my point is 2021 is not going to change anything. And your brain right now is changing, not because you're controlling it, but because something else is controlling it. You're going through something that no one else has gone through. And just watch my first video. I think I was more right then. Perfectionism took over afterwards. It's okay. It's normal. Correction. It's not okay. Things are not okay. But it's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to break down. It's okay to feel crappy. To feel upset, depressed, anxious, terrified. Stop comparing what you're going through to what someone else is going through and feel that just because someone else has it worse that you should be appreciative. Most people know to be appreciative. We are bombarded like every day about how to be so grateful for everything we have. But we're not bombarded enough with messages of just, I don't know, screw it. Like, no, it's not okay. I can't be appreciative right now that I'm healthy because my brain right now does not feel healthy. It feels exhausted. It feels constantly like something is right next to me, almost, this may sound bad, but almost as if you're sitting right next to a bomb and you don't know when it's going to go off. You don't know what's going to happen because it's not in your control. And we don't like to not feel in control. Most of us try to control every aspect of our life. So that's my message for the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. I won't be doing any resolutions. Let me know if you will, and out of curiosity, let me know what they are. This is not a negative message. It's not being pessimistic. This is just what I like to call harsh truth time. Stay safe. Happy New Year. And I'll see you next year. And that's it, folks.